I've been decrowning the bow. I've got a sheet of hardboard here so the camera will focus better. Now I haven't gone right the way up the limb. I've left it up near the grip. So obviously if I've decrowned it there I'll just be thinning the sapwood. Here, as the limb gets wider, happens to be a fairly shallow curve, so it's not too bad. Whereas here it's quite a steep curve, and what that means is all the tension on the back is mostly in the centre. And if you look at how the bark's popped off, it doesn't pop off on the edges because there's not much tension there. It pops off in the centre section. So by flattening it slightly, it makes the bow thinner so it's going to flex better, and it also spreads the load on the back more evenly across all the sapwood. That's the theory of it. The other thing is you'll hear about people say, oh, you mustn't violate growth rings. Well, I don't know if the rings are showing up, but you can see there's a line along there, so I'm not actually going across the growth rings, I'm working through evenly so that any lines that are exposed run the length of the bow. Same way as the bark here, where I'm cutting through the bark it's running along the length of the bow, so you'll get a series of lines parallel. So you can see it's becoming quite slim now, and it's probably quite a bit thinner than an equivalent long bow would be. The way to look at it is, imagine a 40-pound long bow, might be that thick. Now if we get two 40-pound long bows and glued them side by side, would be that thick, and we'd have an 80-pound bow. So theoretically we can have an 80-pound bow that is under no more strain than a 40-pound long bow would be. The big change here is I've decrowned it from about there outwards and about there outwards on this limb. If I didn't decrown it, what would happen is I'd remove more and more off the belly until there was no heartwood left. So it's a trade-off. Also, with a steep crown on the back of a bow, it concentrates the stress there. With a flatter back it's more evenly spread about. I've also got it on a brace now. You can see that's about 4 inches or so. I'm a tad nervy. This is the first time I've even looked at it braced on the tiller. It's not looking too bad. It's 17. Blimey, it's about some exercise. Yeah, you can see that right. It's beginning to flex here a bit. Well, there's a tiny hint of sort of reflex there, and it looks a little stiff. But if you look carefully, you can just see it is moving. Blimey, that's at 80 at 27. So if you wanted 85 at 28, that's virtually there. Slap a string on it, call it good. I'll probably get a bit more fiddling and fettling, but yeah, it's come upon me rather quickly there, but I think it's having to work carefully in trying to tease the bow out of it. Yeah, as they say sur le continent. Pif paf pouf, c'est bien.